the overview for activity confidence intervals for two proportions. Get right into an example here. Financial officer for a company wants to estimate, and this should sound familiar by the way, to estimate the percent of accounts receivable that are more than 30 days overdue. He surveys 500 accounts and finds that 300 are more than 30 days overdue. He compares, this is the new part, he compares these results with 430 accounts from the previous year, which had 275 that were more than 30 days overdue. Construct a 90, 95, 99% confidence interval estimate for the difference in population proportion or difference in proportion of accounts receivable that are more than 30 days overdue between last year and this year. Right. And then data comes from a distribution that's approximately normal. So we're going to define success as an account being overdue, which is kind of weird. All right, account overdue. So last year there were 500 accounts, 300 were more than 30 days overdue. That gives me my P hat, which is my X divided by my N. All right, so that's for the first group, the last year group. So everywhere there's a subscript of 1 in this formula, so not over here, but over here and over here, that's going to correspond with this value. This year we have 430, 275 of which are overdue. Get the quotient. Seems to know exactly what I want to do. So I'll tab that in and accept it. All right. It's referencing E6 being divided by E5, so we're good there. All right. The confidence level, all right, so equals, norm inverse. The alpha value of 0.10 divided by 2, comma 0, comma 1, because we're looking at a distribution that is standardized with a mean value of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. And then we throw in the absolute value on this. All right, so we knock off the negative sign. And while we're here, do it for this one, making it 0.05. And for this one, oops, I gotta actually copy the cell and make that a 0.01. All right, so that's nothing new. I'm gonna put in equals. I wanna do P hat for last year minus P hat for this year. Minus, we're going to take our critical Z value, multiplied by all of this stuff referencing D7 and D8, right? D7s for the P hat 1s, D8s for the P hat 2s, and N1 would be 500, 430 would be N2. So last year corresponds with a subscript of 1, this year with a subscript of 2. All right, I'm going to throw some dollar signs around this just to make it more portable. The B10 I want to leave alone, and I'll type in the square root of D7, so that's my P hat 1, times 1 minus D7 divided by D5, which is my N1, plus, that's built into the formula, D5, I'm sorry, E7. E7's right here, minus times 1 minus E7 divided by E5. So everything, same structure, but in the E column. All right, so I'll lock that in. I got my low bound. Copy it over. Change minus to a plus. All right, not all of them, just this one. And we're good. As the conclusion is concerned, we say 90% confident that the difference in population proportion of accounts that are more than 30 days overdue is between this number and this number. Since these are percentages, we're gonna just click out of there. We're just gonna get rid of the units. I almost said unit of the rids. So it would look like that. Now in terms of the other two, copy it over, paste, check your references, D7, E7, D5, E5, that's good. Now it's pointing to B18, which is right where we want it. All right, so down the line, minus goes to a plus. Missed something there. Try that again. Oh, I have it. Oh, you know what? I think I edited it in the wrong one. Yep, there it is. I didn't copy before I edited. So it looks good. And, you know, if you wanted to do it all in one shot, you could. You know, copy them both and you'll be fine. All right. So just checking what it's pointing to. It's pointing to B26. And we have the minus. We have all these other things accounted for. Again, the D7s, E7s, and so on. All right, so we're good there. I'm going to copy. And we're not looking at much of a difference from one to another, so that's good. Or consistent anyway. But you will notice that for the first one, we had a negative going to a positive. That shows no significant difference. All right, I'm going to bold that. Minus to a plus shows no significant difference. What minus to a minus means is that there, in both bounds of the interval and everything in between, there's always an increase from one set to the other. All right. So that means the first set is smaller than the second one, which means that the second one's bigger than the first one, which means that there is a significant difference. All right. So this year is significantly greater than last year. Or you could say last year is significantly less than this year. I'm just making these little notes here because we're going to have to write the final conclusion, and I just like having these little bits and pieces. Same idea here. So my conclusion would say 2 out of the 3 intervals show that there are significantly more outstanding accounts, or I'll just say accounts that are more than 30 days overdue. Nigher? No, more. This year compared to last year. And you know, the financial officer can start, now we're able to draw that conclusion, can start thinking about why that might be the case. Was there turnover in staff? Are people just not doing their job this year, but they were last year? You can start getting at the root causes, but it isn't until you determine that there is a significant difference that you start that investigation, all right? And so that is the example, and you'll have assignments 1 and 2, and you can get right to it.